gosh, the scenery is just so beautiful, and I am including him when I talk about the beautiful scenery. Oh. Hey guys, welcome back to Real Housewives Recaps. Today I'm covering Emily in Paris. I'll be talking about Season 1, Episode 2, Masculine Feminine. Oh my gosh, you guys, I love this show so much. It's on Netflix, so if you're not on it, get on it because it's amazing. I'm on episode 2. Yep, there's some silly hokey parts, but I love it. Don't care. That's kind of how I felt about Sex and the City too. I love it. So good. So I cannot wait to discuss episode 2 with you guys. Let's get into it. Hey guys, I just want to take a second and say if you're enjoying this show, please check out my Patreon. Go to patreon.com, search Real Housewives Recaps, or check the comments below and I'll put a link. And for $1 a week, you can support my show and get 4 bonus episodes per month. I'm covering Scary Island, like the greatest season of Real Housewives of New York. So check it out. Thanks so much. So it starts out with Emily running and learning to speak French and just the beautiful sights. I just love this show. So she's running, she goes back to her apartment, and if you remember from episode 1, it's a little confusing. They count the ground floor, and then the first floor for them is what we would consider the second floor. So there's some confusion. So once again, by accident, she ends up at Gabriel's apartment. Oh, hello, Gabriel. So Gabriel opens the door, and what does he say? You're very wet. Oh my gosh, seriously? So cute. Okay, trying to remember what the heck I was talking about because it's Gabriel. So she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm cute and bubbly and American. He's like, that's okay. I'm French. You're cute. I'm cute. Okay. So he opens the door for her, and they have this exchange, and obviously, we know her boyfriend sucks, so something's gonna happen here, and oh, hello, Gabriel. So, like a metaphor for the show, she starts out happy and excited and immediately steps in dog shit. So, she steps down in a giant piece of poop. It's disgusting, and that kind of sums up how Paris has been for her so far. I understand we're going for the Sex and the City vibe. I get it. Don't love the outfit though. I like a lot of her fashion, not so much this one. And I think they make fun of it at the office as well, which is kind of funny. So she makes a post about it, and oh, what's that? Her subscribers are going up and she's getting more attention. She's surprised to learn all the likes she's getting on a lot of her photos. So yay, Emily. So Emily gets to work and she's greeted with, good morning, Le Luc. And if you remember from the first episode, that means you heck. So she greets Julian back with a recording in French saying, go F yourself. So he's cute and sassy, and I'm so glad they gave him a personality this episode because he was kind of mean in the first episode. So Emily knocks on Mean Boss's door, and she says, there's a party tonight. We work with exclusive brands. And Emily talks her way into an invite by explaining, I know what it means to be on the outside looking in. And so the boss invites her. She asks, hey, any tips on what to wear? And the boss kind of looks her up and down and says, not that. Meanwhile, I am absolutely drooling over these in-between shots. Look at this. They spent so much money filming this and shooting in this beautiful city. Oh, it's just gorgeous. I love it. So it's the night of the work event. And can we just talk about her here? I love this dress. I think she looks so beautiful. Her hair looks beautiful. She looks a little more grown up. She's gorgeous. So she goes to eat something, and of course, bitch boss has something to say about that. And it's like, how dare you eat something? I'm just going to have a cigarette. So anyway, it's just showing the faux pas that she's making right off the bat. The guy boss who's leaving comes and gives her a smooch, and she and Emily gets to meet Antoine Lambert, and he is the one that's in charge of this perfume. So she meets him, she meets his wife, and she's trying to just get to know everybody and make a good impression, and she's talking about business, and everybody gets very strange with her, and she doesn't quite understand why. Well, bitch boss pulls her aside and is like, no, you messed up. We don't talk business at a business party. And she said, this is a soiree, not a conference call. So not quite understanding Emily goes out for a drink, and this scene. Oh my gosh, you talk about scenery? Holy cow, look at that. That's incredible. Well, Emily goes out for a drink, and why wouldn't you? To look at this closer. And speaking of looking at closer, perfume guy finds her, Antoine. And they flirt. And I thought it was going to be this creepy thing where just he's flirting with her, and it starts out like that. She starts flirting back with him. They're kind of into each other, and can't say that I blame her. She says his perfume is like wearing poetry. He says that she should find a French boyfriend to learn French in bed. Ooh la la. So they're smelling the perfume, and she's saying she loves it and it smells wonderful. And he sniffs her and says she smells like expensive sex. She says it's better than smelling like a cheap date, which I love. I love that retort. And it's interesting because, again, they're kind of flirting, and he ends up giving her his card, and she's pretty happy to take it. So I thought that was a charged scene between them. So she's happy with herself and enjoying, and then we get to see bitch boss spying and giving her the evil eye, like she does. And we'll find out why. So Emily gets to work, and she's there feeling good about herself from the night before. She's saying that the male boss is saying that the Antoine loved her. The perfume guy loved her and wants to work with her and wants her on the project. Well, bitch boss Sylvie comes in and is like, no. We have her on vaginal suppositories to help with dryness. So that's what she'll be working on. So obviously Emily is less than thrilled about this. And this is when Sylvie decides to tell her, you are being too friendly with Antoine, and Emily completely denies it. But she can't figure out where the boss is coming from on this and how she knows and why she cares. That's when we see Julian come in, and he says, she's his mistress, right? And Emily is just completely shocked, as she would be, and she's like, what? So she messages her friend Mindy that we met in the first episode, and is like, hey, we need to go to dinner. And Mindy's like, okay, cool. So they meet up, and they go, and they talk, and Mindy explains that this is a thing. Nobody wants to have sex with the same person forever, and the wife probably has a lover too. And Emily asks, what's the point of being married if you're going to cheat on your spouse? And it's just a thing that they do, is what Mindy's explaining. It's companionship. So it's interesting. So they go to dinner. We get to learn more about Mindy. Business school brought her to Paris. Her dad is the zipper king of China. Since a kid, she was obsessed with the idea of living in Paris. She dropped out of school when her father found out he cut her off, and she'd rather have her freedom and live there happily than, to go back to living with her dad. So this is when Emily's steak arrives, and she's claiming it's too pink. She tries it. She's not happy. She tries to get the waiter's attention, and Mindy's trying to explain that's not how it's done here. We don't do that. We just take what the chef gives us, and we're happy with it. And Emily's like, no, customer's always right, which I don't think that's a thing. So here we see who's in the background. Who's the chef going to be? It's Gabriel. Oh. Offers to burn it for her, but begs her or insists that she try it first. So she tries it. She loves it. Mindy's making the funniest faces here. And yeah, so they're flirting, and he's hot. And I don't know how you pay attention to anything but him when he's around. So there's that. But wait, the boyfriend comes to town tomorrow. Dun, dun, dun. So she's walking around the market, and this is my least favorite of her outfits so far. I really hate this look. I hate the hat. I hate the crop top. All of it, the frills, not my thing. She's excited because she sees her social media presence going up, and that's great. She calls the boyfriend, talking about tomorrow, and what happens? Boyfriend's not coming. Some lame excuse about not wanting to be by himself all day while she works. And she's like, what? So she's like, yeah, this isn't going to work out. So he says, well, wait, I think I lost you. And she said, yeah, you did. I got to go. We knew that was going to happen. No big shocker there, but I'm glad he's gone. Now time to move on to Gabriel. So it's the next day. It's a rainy morning. And seriously, even when it's raining, it looks like this. My God. Gorgeous. So she goes into work, and even her umbrella is fashionable. P.S. I love that purse. I think it's so beautiful. So she's still pouting about the boyfriend and having a bad day. She gets to her desk, and the suppositories are on it. So, yeah, that's not a great way to start your day. So she's trying to get into and think of how to market these things. And she starts looking and writing, and she figures out that in French, vagina has a masculine noun. So she's confused by this. She asks her boss about it, who can't really explain it. She just says it's something a woman owns and a man possesses. So Emily, confused by this, goes back to her desk and starts thinking. Well, she comes up with the idea and just tweets it out, or whatever program she's using. She sends out a picture and is like, the vagina is not male. And she sends it out, and we'll come back to this later because some stuff comes of this. So she meets her friend Mindy at the park. She feels like she'll never learn the language. She's just having a tough day. And she's maybe not cut out for it. Mindy's like, Paris is the most exciting city in the world. And she convinces her that it's a great place, and she's really trying. I mean, Mindy's a great friend. She's trying to help her out, make her feel better, and let her vent about the boyfriend. Meanwhile, we see Brigitte Macron, and the First Lady of France, is receiving this text message from her friend that's like, hey, look at this. The vagina is not male. And she writes back, absolutely. And so this is going to give a huge boost to Emily and her product. The staff is having lunch and just talking, and bitch-faced boss is kind of being a bitch about, I guess the guy is leaving, so she's like, oh, I'm stuck with the American. And well, while they're talking, guy boss finds out what's happening, that, the Brigitte Macron has tweeted this and talked about Emily and talked about the product, and that the client is so happy. So it's hilarious because Mindy then texts Emily, is like, Brigitte Macron just retweeted you, bitch. So the lunch gang flags Emily down. It's like, hey, come here. She's finally invited to join, and everybody's so proud of her, except for bitch-faced boss, who's not that thrilled. And it's finally turning around for Emily, and that's how the episode leaves off, and I'm so happy for her. I can't wait to see what happens. It's so exciting. She's finally doing well, and hopefully she'll have a better time in the most beautiful city. That is it, you guys. I love this show. I'm so excited to see what happens with Emily and Gabriel and whoever else, and I'm just really enjoying this watch through, and it sounds like you guys are too. I've had so many positive comments that you guys are now getting into this show, and that's amazing. I'm super excited to talk about it, and leave me comments because I read every single one. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of the show, the outfits, the guys, whatever. So thank you so much for watching. I so appreciate it. If you want to support this show, please go to my Patreon, check it out. You can leave me comments below, or you can find me on Twitter @RealRecaps. And I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.